Well, it says we're live.
Yeah, live.
No, it can't tell us.
No, we have to trust it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
And I
dangerous place to
Trust. I
be.
have trust. I have trust issues.
I wonder why.
Not a clue. Okay, if you would like to,
Keep the AC on.
AC, sure, why not? AC. If you like to keep the AC on, Ko-fi.com, the blanket fort. Donate money, keep us cool. Because
The
Lord have
humidity
mercy.
is up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's not particularly hot today, but dang, is it wet out there?
Sucking air
Yeah.
through a wet blanket. If you like coffee, King Harv's Imperial Coffees at www.kingharv.com. We can heartily recommend both their North Texas Troublemaker Brew blend and Racktor Press blend. If you order from them, let them know you heard about it from us. So let's keep sending us coffee.
And the geisha and the chicory.
And anything from Africa.
Yeah.
As Cedar is finding out.
Yeah.
Among the Leaves Tees, tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves Tees, for all your smart ass and smart aleck t-shirt needs.
Yes, I have been operated on successfully. Yes, I am feeling better. They did put in two of the large size jacks in my back. And no, I don't get to keep the key for them.
It's all jacked up.
Yeah, it's all jacked up. Yeah. I had lost about 30% of the height of the vertebrae. So they literally jacked it back up and then put in what's called body concrete, which is now set up supposedly.
You're not a construction zone.
Yeah. And it itches and I want to scratch so friggin' bad. But yeah,
I have been less than helpful in my suggestions, so
Yeah,
I will
I've
just
noticed
keep
that.
I will just keep them to myself.
thank you, asshole.
You're
Um,
welcome.
But for the first time in 6 months, no sciatic pain, which is great.
He's actually walking without a cane, which is mildly
Yes.
surprising.
And yes, my voice sounds like shit because they intubated me, which they do for anybody that they put on their stomach. And oh my God, the 11 people that came in and went, "What's your name? What's your date of birth? Why are you here?"
If you don't know, why the hell am I here?
Yeah. And then the doctor had come in and signed my back. That's so they make sure they're operating on the right patient in the right place.
Yep.
Uh,
Because it has actually happened that
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
they didn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
More than once.
Yep, VA care can be done right. Yes, that is true, Rick. It takes a while, but yes. Yeah, I get so tired of this question. Yeah, Tiff. And especially when the nurse is trying to get a vein in the back of my wrist, because when they put you on your stomach, they can't use the elbow.
Oy.
Yeah. And she kept getting interrupted and people kept grabbing my hand for shit. But less than an hour on the table. And yeah. So now it's just a matter of recovery. They're saying 4 to 6 weeks. So I will not make Liberty Con. Hopefully we'll make Riders Cantina. So, you know, all things
I think you'll be able to tolerate it. By then, you'll be able to tolerate the 2-hour flight in an airplane
Yeah.
seat. Oh, bless your heart.
He comes bearing gifts. Or a gift anyway.
The Hell's Kitchen,
There's fun art on that.
the Retro Kitchen, Hell's Kitchen Retro Jalapeno is fantastic. Is a fantastic little green sauce. It really is.
yeah, AJ just joined us as part of the Peanut Gallery with Jonna.
It's jalapeno, tomatillo, and roasted garlic. It's really good with anything chicken.
Chicken.
I have certain sauces go with certain foods, and this goes to chicken. I have standards.
Yeah. No comment.
I'm out of sorts today for multiple reasons, so have patience.
Oh, yeah. So we are back to peaceful protest in LA again. Yeah. Penguin is practically chicken.
Actually, the Bravado Spice Company Crimson is allegedly great for penguin.
Allegedly.
I'm not sure I would eat penguin. I'd have to be awfully hungry.
I think penguin is probably going to be rather fishy.
I
And
grew up in
greasy.
Africa.
Having read
I don't-
Dave Freer's descriptions of what mutton bird is like, I
Yeah.
think I can take a pass on penguin because I think it's probably really the same.
I am not enthused with eating a chicken that tastes like a fish.
I had a hyena voice warrant officer tell me one time it'll make a turd.
I mean,
That does not mean I have to like it.
there are things in life that unless I am forced into eating them, I don't intend to intentionally ingest.
Yeah, Rick, nationwide peaceful protest on the 14th. I might have lost a couple of friends last night in the chat that I was in.
Oh, noes.
Not that I really
You
give
have
a shit,
friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
because I said it's time to start shooting the son bitches.
Yes.
First one picks up a brick, gets shot. Next one picks up a brick, gets shot. Shoot them in the knees.
Well,
The Israelis did that fairly successfully.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, they were decapping.
Yeah.
Literally. I'm just squirrels, close stick.
Yeah.
Fuck.
His Dipper says, the peaceful military has been sent to peacefully discuss how to peacefully end the peaceful protest. Yes.
Oh, to drive home exactly how stupid these protesters are. Apparently, they had the brilliant idea, and they didn't talk to anybody that's good at this sort of thing, to block choke points using Waymo vehicles. And Waymo, for those of you who don't know, and I didn't at the time, are Google's robot taxis.
Yeah.
So, because Google is evil, in order to summon what they did is they summoned these Waymos and then they cut the tires and tagged them and set them on fire to block choke points, which is not smart. I mean, it's not stupid. It's they actually found the choke points and made them difficult.
Yeah.
The issue is, in order to get a Waymo, you have to have some sort of payment ability on file.
Yeah. So they got everybody that ordered.
And every one of the cameras that are used so that they don't run over Grandma Frickert and the 40 nuns have damn near 360-degree 4K capability.
Yep.
And it's not stored locally.
Nope.
New.
Kind of like all of the
So if you
the
think Teslas are bad,
yes, exactly. Same basic thing of maybe we'll see people stop being stupid about car vandalism.
We
Maybe.
won't because they're not smart.
No.
But having dealt with similar young ass weasels in the past, they will be able to get at least one per car. And once you have one, when you turn the screws, apply pressure, they will snitch with a quickness.
And Rick is saying they had 99% were fake IDs and fake credit cards.
Yeah.
It's Google.
Yeah. If Google wants to find it, they can find it.
And Google is apparently pissed.
Well, that, and you have to assume that the only way they had a chance of getting away with fake IDs and fake cards, is if they had never ever used them before.
And
Yep.
those little
Or they
shits.
bought them on the dark web.
But if they've used them once, they've got enough of a trail, they can find them.
Yeah.
It's Google.
Yeah, Todd, conspiracy to commit a crime. Speaking of which, DEA in Atlanta has had some fun. 252 kilograms of drugs out of one guy.
Okay, you say out of, and I'm assuming you don't mean physically.
Thank you.
He was,
No, we're
the,
hoping you don't mean physically.
he was the dealer for the East Coast
Okay.
and found a book that said how to avoid federal drug conspiracy and firearms charges.
Let me guess, the book was written by AI.
Along with 9 firearms, $145,000 in cash, and one that was converted to a machine gun.
FUC
Yeah.
KEDAGA.
37 kilograms of
Again.
fentanyl, 13 kilograms of meth,
Woo.
8 kilos of heroin, 6 kilos of cocaine at his secondary location.
One stop shop. Bloody
Yeah.
hell.
Yep. His main location, 56 kilos of fentanyl, 84 kilos of meth, 10 kilos of heroin, 4 kilos of cocaine.
The way that the everybody's losing minds over fentanyl, that's a life sentence, that dumbass.
Yeah. Yep.
I love getting a couple beers into Kelly Grayson and then asking about fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
That is a really good rant. I've gotten that one
Yeah.
a couple of times too.
When he hits that high swamp pitch,
Yeah.
about making fentanyl dust angels,
Yeah.
it's just that's when I usually lose it.
Dear Crack Hose Magazine, I'm a small time drug dealer in Atlanta. I never thought this would happen to me. That's probably the major dealer for the East Coast.
These days, who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
obviously the FBI does because,
The FBI is
Yeah.
probably paying him on the side.
well, this guy had been doing it for a few years. So, yeah.
The FBI, I wouldn't trust them to carry water to the back porch.
No. But I think it's funny that they brought 700 Marines up from Pendleton and they're there for security.
It's the 7th.
Yeah.
These poor bastards that they brought up there have been at 29 stumps. I'm sorry, 29 palms.
No, they did not bring up 29 stumps. They're from Pendleton.
Where they've been cleaning and recleaning and cleaning stuff for months.
And they are combat arms.
They are looking for
Any excuse.
deer
Unlike
crop.
the National Guard.
Deer crop. I
They're
never
looking-
thought it would happen to me.
Yeah.
They're looking for good Samaritans that will volunteer
Yeah.
to give them someone upon which they can vent some steam.
Yes.
Deer crop. I never thought it would happen to me.
Yeah. Yes, Tom Kratman has some very graphic stories about the training to handle riots.
Oh yeah.
There is more than one way to handle a riot. And
I'm from the area of the world where they use flamethrowers to disperse riots.
Doesn't GE make a?
Tesla makes a nice flamethrower.
Well, no, I'm not talking about flamethrower. I'm just talking about a former street sweeper. Yes.
Brr.
congratulations, citizen. You have been selected as a training aide for the Marine Corps.
Woohoo! Folks who own over pigs and Marines sacked out wherever they stop moving more than 10 minutes. Those are not Marine camouflage uniforms.
And also, those photos have been floating around for quite a while.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple. at
Not
least
only
one of those
that,
years ago.
But the big square thing in the middle, that big square thing with the rollers,
Yeah.
it's fluoroscope. So they're in an airport somewhere.
Yep. And that was some of those pictures are at least 5 years old. So as usual, don't believe everything you see.
And having seen a baby sailor right out of boot camp sacked out on a folding table in an airport.
Yeah.
Some of that.
In his dress whites.
Yeah.
For those of you on here, ask your grandparents. Army sticks a whole bunch of TA-50 gear in duffel bags.
Yeah.
TA-50 gear being helmets, things that are hard and pointy. I've gotten some of the best sleep in my life racked out on a stack of duffel bags in the back of a 5-ton truck going down a dirt road.
Yeah.
The fact that they're sleeping, and
Hey, if you're in the military, I'm gonna guarantee you can sleep anywhere because we've all done it.
the people give me shit for this, but that part of Aliens where they're about to make the drop on the planet and Apon says, "Somebody wake up Hicks." That somebody wake up Mac is,
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes out. Somebody wake up Mac.
Why so early?
A friend of mine who was a retired gunner's mate, Master Chief, was as a young sailor stationed on the New Jersey. He slept through firing of the number 2 gun inside the turret.
Yeah.
He went, I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I was the assistant gun captain. The other guy had it. So I just sat there and slept.
One of the things that drives Rita nuts is the fact that I can't undo sleep.
Yeah.
My little lady loves to travel, but she doesn't like flying. She likes where she's leaving from and where she's going to, but the part in the air between the two makes her nervous. And I get cussed out when we land, and she tells me exactly how many hours I was snoring on the flight in.
Yeah. Yes, Bob's retired or ex-military also.
Yeah.
Yes, you can sleep standing up, and most of us have done it.
Yeah.
It takes real talent to sleep standing up on a ship at sea and not fall over.
Yeah, but it's getting off the ship and trying to walk down a pier that's a lot of fun.
I lived on board.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
that part.
you can always tell how long somebody's been at sea the way they walk down the pier. When they're staggering, it's like, what's wrong with you? The land is moving.
If I was parachuting into somewhere, I was probably going to spend at least the next 48 hours awake. It did not take very long for me that we're flying to the drop zone. I can probably get some sleep.
Because I don't know how much longer it'll be before I get to do it again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, Rick, yes. Unexpected noises or expected noises that stop.
There's a reel going around. It's a joke about it's Texas, and there's this guy curled up on a couch with a binky just out like a light, and it's like across the bottom it says tornado alert, still sleeping. Thunder crash, still sleeping. Dogs barking, sleeping. Fan goes out.
Yeah.
Fan goes off. What?
Yeah. Yeah, for most of us, it's the fan or the noise of an electric fan. Because that usually meant something was not going right.
Well, when the fan goes off, it means I can hear my tinnitus.
Yeah. Yes, Kermit, sailors stagger on the gangplank in both directions. It's true.
Yeah.
Because you get so used to the ship movement at sea that walking a straight line becomes perfectly normal.
I was saying I joined the branch where I could walk home if things went bad.
I did not join the Army because I didn't want to walk to work. You guys have that shit.
Walk to work, walk at work,
Yeah.
walk back from work.
Yeah.
Which is better than swimming to work, swimming at work, and swimming back.
Yeah.
There was chance of swimming or guarantee of walking.
I'd rather walk.
Yeah.
That's like the recruiter. But I almost joined the Navy, believe it or not. I wanted the Coast Guard, but you can't find a Coast Guard recruiter. Things were probably different if I had joined the Coast Guard. However, the Army recruiter told me that, hey, you do know that land is never more than 5 miles away if you're in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? He said, yeah, straight down.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been swimming in places like that.
Tom says, got a counseling statement in PLDC, Team Leaders something course,
Development course.
for falling asleep during close order drill practice. Did not miss a step or drop a step or miss a command. Yeah.
I'm not seeing an issue here.
You do it enough times, the forebrain is completely uninvolved in completing the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out doing my steps back and forth across my driveway today and watched a T-38 go over, and wonder if they still use a key to start that thing. Yes.
Probably.
Huh?
Probably.
Well, and that led to asking in one of my military chats if anybody knew, and they said, yeah, they still use a key. But it's a special key. It's not like turn a key. Because to start a T-38 off a huffer, which is, okay, a huffer basically is a jet engine in a cart that blows hot air
So they've got a general in a
I was thinking
Yeah,
politician. actually.
politician in a cart. Goodness.
But you have to crawl under the T-38, open a panel, hook the hose up that the huffer blows air through. And then once it gets nice and hard and it's fully blowing, you have this key that's about this long that you have to stick up next to the connection, put it in, and then turn it so it turns a valve so that the air then goes to the engine. So then you have to sit there and wait until you hear the tick, 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 tick of the igniter starting. And once you hear the thump, then you've got to close the valve, pull it out, disconnect everything while you're frantically telling the guy, shut the huffer off. Which, of course, by then you got a jet engine running, 2 jet engines now. So he's going, huh? And you break the huffer hose loose, and you get a face full of superheated hot air.
You know, the L-shaped lever on your dashboard. It's spring loaded. And the engine goes, and you let go.
Yeah.
Done.
How many things that take about 12 to warm up?
Yeah. Well, you know, we used to start at least A4s and some other jet engines and some of the recips with shotgun shells. Now, those were close hold. You did not let the troops get their hands on those things.
Done.
Go ahead and do that with a gamma goat. I'll watch.
Like, damn, do it.
It was a huffer, Tom, not a fluffer. That's a different specialty. And Cedar is just ignoring us all.
I am not. I am laughing over here, but this is not something I forgot to do. So
Cedar disappointed me.
what?
Saturday we were over at Cedar's house having
Fluffer is the Air Force version of the card. Yes.
we were at Cedar's house and having dinner, and she started showing me some stuff, and she has, wait for it, an electric mocha pot.
And I didn't bring it today and set it up and make mocha beforehand because I've got like 5 other things I'm doing. I forgot.
Yeah, Tom, the old shotgun shell starters worked for a lot of things, including tractors back in the day.
This is only my 3rd attempt to bring the hot sauce to him.
Yeah.
One of these days. One of these
Oh,
days.
Yes, Jesse, you're right.
I've never used an electric mocha pot. I mean, I've never used a mocha pot. I've drunk a lot of mocha coffee, because mocha pots are complicated, and I can't hear. And if you can't hear the bubbling start or stop or something, there's a sound change. And if you don't move with a quickness when the sound changes, it burns your coffee. If you know what you're doing, if you're Italian, it's damn fine coffee.
That's why I don't drink mocha, because I can't hear anything either.
But apparently this electric one will shut off on its own.
While it goes blink, electric mocha pot.
Yep.
Yes, I said the same thing. I didn't realize there was such a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Thursday, probably Thursday, I can arrange to have it with me when I come over here with Sanford, because there was something else I was. Oh, right, I've got to get books for the little community days at the library. So I
Thursday, right?
That's Thursday.
Okay.
So Thursday I will come over and get books because my books are mixed in from the weekend event.
Hey, David, welcome.
Hey, David Batterina's on here.
He's the guy that actually knows how to do a podcast.
Well, allegedly, we do everything wrong, but
So
they
we
keep showing up.
Yeah.
the very model of the bad example,
Yeah.
evidently, from everything I've been told.
Where's that example?
That's Jim and I went to a how to do a professional live stream. And the only thing we discovered, we learned from that was that we were doing everything, and I mean everything wrong.
I have been on 2 panels on live streams as the bad example. So yes.
Yes, apparently it's a mocha pot that turns off on its own.
I will report back more later this week. Well, I learned that cold brew coffee, which I always thought was a lot more complicated than evidently it is, can be made very easily. Dorothy Grant walked me through how she does it. The problem is that the first potful of cold brew that I did for myself, Dorothy's method involves measuring your coffee into a French press, filling to desired level with room temperature water, and then you put the plunger, the lid on, but don't push the plunger down, and you stick it in the fridge overnight. So the first coffee that I loaded up to try this out with was the Vietnamese espresso that Mark had given me.
Oh, you're wired.
So the next morning, I'm like, this is really tasty. So I drink 2 glasses of it iced, as I prefer in the summer. You can heat it up, but it is really mellow and nutty and just really nice. And it went down really easy. And suddenly I could hear colors.
Her squirrels were wired for sound.
So after touching base with Dorothy of, I am vibrating in tune with the universe. She said, no, you have to mix it half and half with decaf to cut back the caffeine level, because cold brew extracts everything.
See,
Cold brew is an anathema.
It's an abomination unto nugget.
Yes,
But it's so tasty.
it's cold.
The only way it could be worse was if she was cold brewing decaf.
Now this morning I cold brewed, started it last night, did the half and half with the espresso grind and the decaf that I got down at the Duck here. So it's the good stuff. So it's half and half, and it was still high test, but it was not nearly as aligning my chakras with.
Cedar could smell the color 9.
Yeah. Brown cold water sadness. Yes.
And normally I would say that, except for the fact that when I'm brewing it this way, I kind of have to have that, or I'm going to hurt myself.
I don't see how anybody can drink cold coffee. I can't do it.
So
I don't see how anybody can drink a damn Coke or anything else at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I can't do that.
No.
It's fizzy. I can drink the flat because the coffee is cold and creamy and good.
Tom says, I made cold brew coffee using the same method I used for sun tea. It was, quote, interesting.
Yeah, I'll bet that would be.
Abomination unto nugget.
Yeah. Now, sun tea, Louisiana actually makes a brew for sun tea specifically.
Yep. Good stuff, too.
Because they're a good Southern company and know how to do that shit. Coffee equals sex, decaf equals masturbation. Thank you, Tom. Yes. And that got the Labrador Retriever look from AJ.
So, no, I'm Army, and I was a cop, hot coffee. And when the little darlings at Frank and Joe's, when I go in, I say, I need coffee. And they say, they're learning not to ask me iced or hot.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair to them, they're trained, because it's Texas, and Texas in the summer, cold is really nice.
Cold does not belong with your coffee.
Oh, and Michael says, back when I was consuming caffeine, I liked hot Mountain Dew, courtesy of working as a delivery driver in high school in a non-air conditioned car with black vinyl interior. Oh, geez. And I'm gonna bet he never wore shorts, not more than once, with a black interior. No, Jesse, that is not the way. I don't care what you say.
I got Rita hooked on using evaporated milk, because that's what we had in Africa.
Yeah.
In West Africa, you had evaporated milk, or whatever got squeezed out of the goat that morning. I did not say milk.
Again, why?
So,
coffee, black,
evaporated milk,
nothing else.
Evaporated milk,
pint or quart.
No, got Rita hooked on evaporated milk. Is a richer milk in the U.S. is not the same as milk overseas.
Evaporated milk or sweetened condensed milk?
Evaporated.
Okay.
Evaporated milk.
It's like dehydrated water.
No, it's just a thicker milk.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's dehydrated milk is
Yeah.
what it is.
Well, not full, it's just reduced. Milk in the U.S. isn't like milk in Europe. Half and half is closer to, but still not right. Is closer to a European milk.
Jesse says, I learned to drink hot Dr. Pepper for similar reasons. I did not say enjoy.
The only reason I can't drink 7-Up is when I've been in places where 7-Up was the safe alternative to water.
Yeah.
And I drank enough hot 7-Up that about half a swallow. It's rebounding like a catapult.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of Mountain Dew anyway.
Cold's not bad.
It was my drink of choice when I was a teenager because I didn't learn to appreciate coffee until much later in life.
You poor thing.
And when I was pulling doubles and working a 16-hour thing, I was surviving on Snickers bars and Mountain Dew.
Ugh.
I mean, when you're 18, you can get away with that.
That's 18. That's fuel for 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to do it now. I'd die.
I had a buddy on my last ship. We played paintball all the time. He would, the days we were out in woods playing, he was running on a mixture of Jolt Cola and Crunch Bars.
Jolt Cola. That stuff was evil.
Yeah.
Woo! Jolt Cola. Mm.
All the sugar.
Twice the caffeine.
Yeah.
My coffee of choice for a long time was Death Wish, which is super caffeinated. It's actually had caffeine infused into the beans, but it is for a long time. It is a very mellow coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have bitterness. It's got a really nice flavor to it, in spite of the additional caffeine. So that was my coffee of choice.
If I can't get an African blend from King Harv's, Arbuckle's Arioso blend.
Yeah. Of course, then you get to fight over who gets the peppermint stick.
I don't, because I'm diabetic.
Wally says, Cedar, same. I used to be on a 2-liter bottle of Dew a day habit in college.
It is one of those things that you outgrow.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay Kent says, took me a while to get used to drinking cold soda when I got back from the Gulf. Yeah.
Did you ever get to enjoy Dixie Cola when you were in the Gulf? I'm waiting for the answer to that. There's the UAE, because allegedly, and I don't know how true this was, but the rumor was that Coca-Cola had a bottling plant in Israel.
Yeah.
So you could not sell in the 70s, 80s. You could not sell Coca-Cola in.
That's a fact in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, this is UAE.
Or UAE, any of them. Yeah.
So Coca-Cola had a cutout, and they did these half-can size called Dixie Cola. And it was Coke.
Yeah.
It was Coke
with
a different mailing address. And the Emiratis love freaking Dixie Cola.
Yep.
These little half-size cans. Man, I killed so many. Love those things.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, you could get them in the hotels too. The wet bar in the hotels all had them, and they had that, and oh God, I can't remember what they had one that was Dixie Cola, and they had one that was like a Sprite. Those things were always in the mini bars.
Mm. Actually, oh well. It was Coca-Cola, but with the glasses and the nose.
Yeah.
Coca was still making money off of it, but they weren't. But the Emiratis weren't drinking that.
Yeah, and it had real sugar in it.
Jew loving Coke stuff.
Yeah. Well, Jay Kent, you were over there a little later than we were. Oh, they still make Squirt. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it just recently. I don't remember where I was, but
Hang on, I gotta look this up. Make sure I'm not misremembering.
Yeah, Brian, four pots a day before was diagnosed. Yeah, 4 pots a day was about what I averaged when I was on active duty. Because we would drink coffee all day.
I was about to say 4 pots.
Yeah.
You were going light, weren't you?
Well, they were 50-cup pots. I mean, we would go through 12-man crew with 12-hour flight. We'd go through 3 of those on a flight. So 150 cups of coffee.
Mm.
So everybody had about 10 to 12 cups. There it is. Yep. Dixie Cola. And if you have a can of that,
Cool. Hang on to it.
yeah, you hang on to it. And every Coca-Cola collector in the world will try to bid you up on that thing.
I am wondering how well my son is going to do because he doesn't drink coffee to this day.
He'll learn.
He'll learn.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what they tell me. But I'm like
I started
being stubborn at the moment.
I started drinking the half chicory, half coffee, Dumont.
Yeah.
In the tan can. My father's favorite coffee. When I was a child, I started heavily milked, of course. Started drinking that with him in the morning.
Well, there's very little coffee in Café Del Mar. That's basically pure chicory.
It was the half and half stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so heavily milked. And when Dad died, I didn't touch coffee for years till I got in the Army, and I couldn't bear to drink coffee anymore, and got up at 4:30 hours out in the field one time, and staggered over the Silver Bullet and got out. I'd had about 30 minutes sleep, and they were making cowboy coffee. The Army made cowboy coffee in the field. You take a big wash tub, fill it full of water, dump coffee in there, and boil it. And then once it's done boiling, you pour water to dry the grounds down, cold water, and scoop the coffee off the top in the Silver Bullet. And I got the first pull off that, and angels sang. It was glorious. My dad smiled at me.
Yes, Tom. Community Coffee Chicory Blend is also excellent.
It's good too.
That's what I grew up drinking as a kid. Was community coffee.
A fresh bag of King Harvey Ethiopian should arrive today. Should I bring it at Liberty come with me? No, because I'll drink the whole damn thing.
Save it, Brian. You're going to need it.
Yeah, I said hang on to it.
Yeah, Rick, that's true. First time little Johan starts nodding off on watch, he will start his coffee app. And it won't be by choice.
No, I mean, right now he's sticking tea. But
he's not going to find tea on a boat.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's going to run out of options.
Yep.
Yeah. Aside from what he brings with him, once that's gone, there will not be any good or even decent tea.
No.
To be had.
Yeah.
No. He's the only thing he'll be able to get as far as tea goes will be factory floor sweepings tucked in a cotton bag that they call tea.
And he won't even be able to get that.
I thought they had little stores on the boats. No, okay.
Not for that.
Sorry.
Yeah, because very, very few people drink tea.
No.
And even with him, it's more of he likes chai, so the odds of being able to get
He's really
that,
screwed.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong Navy.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, if he was in the Australia or Brit Navy, yes.
He'd be fine.
Because every friggin' space on those boats
As a tea service.
has a tea service. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Hell, I've been inside Brit Army armored vehicles that had a pressurized tea service. That was damn civilized.
Yeah.
Community Coffee Chicory Blend is fantastic, and I've actually kind of had I've forgive me, Father, gone away from Dumont to because the community coffee is easier to get around here.
Yeah,
and the Chicory Blend is damn fine.
Well, United's actually got both of them.
Do they?
Yeah. Although they tend to carry more Café du Monde than they do
because it's United.
Community Club.
Good United. Oh. Yeah,
Joel, we're going to sell the Virginia class to the Aussies, and I will guarantee you that within 30 days of turning the boat over, every space on that friggin' boat will have AT service in it somewhere.
So you can't ask your maintenance crew to work under those conditions. It has to be tea.
Yeah. DA, that's a good question. I don't have a good answer.
Well,
Yeah, Tom, that's what I do, is buy it by the case. That way it's a much easier way. Then you know what you got, and you know when you got to reorder coffee because you know how much you drink.
I have Greg Radabaugh, that I think's on here somewhere.
Yeah.
Gave me a bag of Congo coffee last time he was here. And I have been going through that Congo coffee because it's good stuff. And when I finally run out of it, and I'm done, I've actually tapered off to 1 mug a day. And so when I have my 1 mug of my African coffees, then the next one I brew will be the chicory, because the squirrels don't vibrate quite as bad when you've had your second one's half chicory.
Yeah, Bob, we do not have a Costco up here. The closest Costco is
Dallas. Yeah, because Johan got a Costco membership and wanted to send me. Well, he added me to his membership, and I'm like, it doesn't do me any good.
Yeah.
I think there's might be one in OKC, but closest one's 2 hours away.
Well, sometime we've been, for the last 10 years, we've been allegedly getting a Costco every year or so.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting a Winco. I will take that. I am
What
excited.
the hell is a window?
The Winco. Go.
The ladies are happy about this.
Kevin, it's
So-
like a Sam's Club, but better.
It's a grocery
It's a
store.
grocery store.
They have a big bulk section,
Yes.
really nice produce section, very decent prices.
really
The one in
butcher.
Dallas had a great bakery.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that was my
membership required.
go-to. Yep, no membership required. That was my go-to shopping when I lived in Dallas for the year, as I'd go to Winco. It's an employee-owned grocery store, and it is far better shopping experience than Walmart, and not nearly as high-end as United or HEB.
Yes, Tom, they did just rebuild the Long John Silver's here.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to eat there yet because I'm not kidding. The line to get in there has been going down Kemp Street. What the hell's wrong with people? We got a catch.
Ooh, I ate at the Catch once.
No?
No,
Oh,
no, no. I am not a huge fan of Long John Silver, but it's got to be better than the Catch.
Long John Silver does use Atlantic cod. So it's basically Icelandic yeast.
So the Long John Silvers in Ohio tended to be, they'd been there a while, and their personnel were kind of on the end of the
Seasoned.
scale of don't give a damn anymore.
Seasoned.
So yeah, seasoned is what I would describe the oil that they used to fry with. And I don't like stuff that's not been fried in at least reasonably fresh oil.
Yeah, Tiffany, affordable is better quality than Aldi's. I will not darken Aldi's doorstep again. I tried twice here locally at Aldi and was dissatisfied both times with what I got.
Well, apparently we're going to be real happy at Winco.
Yeah, I think you guys will be. I'll say that the Aldi here is probably, it's the smallest Aldi I think I've ever shopped. And I have had more quality issues here than I've had at Aldi's elsewhere. Like the bread that Sanford and I preferred, we were buying at Aldi for years. We got up here and we got a couple of loaves of it, and both times it had been underbaked, so it was doughy, uncooked in the middle. And I was not thrilled with that, so we stopped buying bread at Aldi, which was sad because I really liked their 13 grain bread. It's a nice hearty bread. But not at the local Aldi. I won't buy it.
I was hoping like hell that when the Winco first started going up, I was hoping hell was going to be HEB.
Yeah. You Warrior says Dad tells a story of being in an attack in World War II, Red Armor supporting the attack, stopped in the middle and broke out the tea billies. It was tea time. That's what the Brits do.
Yep.
There's nothing more frustrating than be sitting in a bar in Britain and they come take your beer away from you and give you a friggin' tea.
Yeah.
And then
Not the same thing.
I will bite hands. I will bite you.
and then the friggin' cucumber sandwiches. Who ever thought that was a good idea?
I love cucumber sandwiches.
You ain't right.
He also likes watercress sandwiches.
And and cress sandwiches are great.
With I understand it's basically bread and watercress and nothing else.
Mayo, if you like mayo.
But they have to have the crust cut off. Can't have the crust on.
I've been getting spaminated. What I want is a good Cedar snuck a tomato plant into our garden. And you have no idea how much I am jonesing for a good tomato sandwich.
Oh yeah, good tomato sandwich is so nice. I am watching, I've got a couple of my tomato plants that are starting to set green tomatoes. I have one that's starting to produce ripe tomatoes, but it's a cherry style, so they're little bitty guys. But I've got a Cherokee purple and the hillbilly, which is the kind of tomato that you have, which will be a yellow with red stripes.
Yeah.
And it's a slicer, so it'll set a decent size fruit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the yellow tomatoes tend to be slightly lower in acidity than the reds. Oh. So I grew them in Ohio, and Sanford really liked. I mean, the one I grew in Ohio, we had a tomato off that was the size of a baby's head. I mean, it was enormous. I don't know if you're going to get that here in Texas. Yeah. A lot more moisture there. But yeah, no, nice tomato sandwich. It's a beautiful thing, especially on homemade bread.
You get Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Mayo, blue plate if you can find it. Mayo one side, sprinkle Tony Chachere's, then you slice nice big chunks, thick chunks of tomato. Yep. Tomato goes on there. You get some hoop cheese, and you cut little things of hoop cheese, and then put more Wonder Bread on top, and you go outside the Dr. Pepper, you eat your tomato sandwich.
Because you're going to be dripping.
So I grew up we made bread every week. Mom's
I love Cedar makes great bread.
Yeah.
Rita makes great bread. I love homemade bread. For a made sandwich, you need to have Wonder Bread.
I was an adult, like maybe in my 30s before I ever ate any Wonder Bread.
Has to be Wonder Bread. If you want a made sandwich, has to be Wonder Bread.
You make it really special with American cheese.
Hoop cheese.
Ooh, I can't do American cheese.
Hoop cheese.
So American cheese is basically coagulated milk, and my lactose intolerance will not tolerate American cheese.
Sweetheart, you're the scientist. Cheese is basically coagulated milk.
Oh no, there's more to it. I can eat cheeses that have been aged, so your cheddars and other things like that. I don't do American cheese anymore because
it's not cheese to start with.
Right, it's cheese product or cheese food or whatever they're calling it.
Go ahead and make disparaging remarks about our poverty and our youth. We've had to eat just that as government cheese.
Hey, I grew up eating government cheese, real government cheese.
Real government cheese is good. It is not the stuff in the plastic wrap in the store. It is different.
That's hoop cheese. Hoop cheese. Hoop cheese. Hoop cheese. Hoop cheese.
Government cheese is good.
Government cheese is not bad.
Stuff in the single, I don't even know what that is.
Nancy calls it cheese food.
When you can find them, they're hard to find these days. I'll have to look again because Sanford prefers.
For those of you who don't know what hoop cheese is, hoop cheese isn't made very much anymore because in the 80s and 90s you got a stigma as being poor people's food, and it is. And if you remember a chili can sized cylinder of red wax with this medium yellow cheese on the inside, really good cheese. Sometimes it was a black cylinder. That's hoop cheese. And it got unfairly stigmatized as being poor people's food. I love that stuff. It's hard to find these days.
Well,
I'm fascinated because I never came across it, and we were definitely poor. I mean, government cheese. We got government cheese.
Yeah.
This was southern southeastern time.
Oh yeah, no, not where I grew up.
No kidding, right? Yeah, no kidding, right?
Government cheese to me is like Longhorn cheddar.
Yeah.
That to me is that taste.
Yeah.
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 But the hoop cheese is a southern thing, and it's
Yeah.
It was basically it's a real quick cheese. It's apparently real quick to make, and farmers would make it real quick to sell on the side. And it was, I think, if I remember right, a chili can sized in the 80s, a chili can sized red wax cylinder was 49 cents.
I don't
Or
remember
39
being
cents.
that big around. I remember them being smaller.
It could have been smaller, right? So I
It was
was
about 2-inch.
no, they were bigger. I like that. I know that you could cut it and it would just overlap a whop biscuit. Because my grandfather every morning had 2 whop biscuits with a Jimmy Dean sausage on each one and about that thick hoop cheese.
Yeah.
So it just overlapped a whop biscuit.
Yeah, had cylinders of Wisconsin Colby. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Colby's good cheese. Colby's another one that's hard to find. You find Colby Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find just Colby because that's Sanford's preferred cheese.
Yeah.
So I can sometimes find it in the bricks, the uncut, but I never see it in like the pre-sliced stuff.
Well,
Or
you never
that's
see
right.
Longhorn in pre-sliced.
Yeah.
Hell, half the time you can't even find Longhorn anymore.
Yeah, I haven't looked
I
for
think,
Longhorn for quite a while.
Again, it got the stigma of being poor people's food.
I don't give a shit. It was good.
It was damn fine good. Hoop
and,
cheese is
and
great.
things are regional because like the thing that we Sanford got all excited when we found out that we could actually get it when we go up to Lawton to Oklahoma. There's a store up there that has pickle loaf, and he likes pickle loaf.
Oh,
Ugh.
I love pickle loaf.
And I have just broken Ian.
No, pickle loaf is great.
Pickle loaf is really good. They also have pickle loaf over at Munster at Frederick's, the meat market place.
I love olives. I love olives.
Olive loaf is good too.
I love pickles mostly. I love extruded meat products. Not they're good. Put the 3 of them together.
There are a number of foods where
Yeah.
I like everything that goes into it, but
Not
mix
combined.
those
Yeah.
particular things together, no, I'll pass.
But yeah, we went last time we went up to Lawton. We bought like 4 pounds, and I froze some of it because you can't find it around here. Nobody carries it. We looked in Dallas.
There's a
Nobody
reason.
carries
It's
it.
disgusting.
Yeah, head cheese.
It's one of those Midwestern things. I mean,
Yeah.
up in the Cincinnati area, you can get Goetta, which is Goetta, which is a kind of head cheese sausagey thing from what it's been described as. I have not eaten it. Sanford absolutely refused to have it in the house.
This is from the same part of the country that thinks that ranch dressing is spicy, right?
This is Ohio, yes.
Doubtful Ian has doubts.
Yeah. This is the same bunch that thinks that chili has spaghetti in it
And lots of cinnamon
and lots of cinnamon
and sugar.
and sugar and cheddar cheese on it.
I'm trying to
No.
remember. I'm trying to remember the.
And they
the
claim
comedian.
they invented chili. Yeah. No.
There was a comedian, might have been Ron White, but don't quote me on that. That he's from the comedian's from Texas, which makes me think it's Ron White, who went to Cincinnati to do a show one time and was feeling homesick, so he ordered the chili.
Oh no.
And he said, "What's this?" And I said, "That's chili." And apparently he said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "This is the home of chili." He said, "I hate to tell you this, but a Mexican riding a goat with an onion come up here and kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to get a ride going back home, though."
When I first moved to Ohio, Sanford introduced me to some local delicacies, but in 2 cases, he told me beforehand he was fairly sure I wasn't going to like it, and he was basically having me try it just so I can say I tried it. One of those was Cincinnati chili. We went to Skyline and got a chili dog, and he was right. I did not like it.
Yeah.
The other one was we went to White Castle and ordered a single slider, much to the bemusement of the lady in the drive-through window. She's like, 1? He's like, we just want 1. You sure you just want 1? Yes, we
Yeah.
just want 1. And that was the nastiest, greasiest thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Rita and I were coming back from somewhere on one of the cons. We'd been on the road for and we wanted window food. So we pulled into some town not in Texas, and we saw a White Castle. And Rita said, "I wonder if they're as good as everybody says they are." I said,
They are not.
No.
and my little darling said, "Let's get some." I went, "Okay." And we got 2 sliders each. We took a bite. Clong.
Yeah.
Yep. That is why Sanford ordered one, because he knew I wasn't going to like it. But then I could at least say I had tried it.
The only thing good about the extra heavy grease on the damn things is it helps it exit as quickly as possible.
Well, it has to be fantastic stoner food because you got to be stoned to think it's food. I took a bite of that thing and I looked at Rita and she's doing the Rita thing, trying to be very ladylike while exhibiting mass amounts of disgust. And I hit the button, the window rolled down, I went clong in the garbage bin. And next thing I know, this little hand passes me over her bag. Clong.
Yeah, no, that was with both of those, he knew what I wasn't gonna like, so we didn't get a lot, but it was just like, we gotta try this once, so then you can say you've tried it.
And
Yeah.
I'm from Africa. I've eaten stuff on a stick.
Yeah.
I went through a couple of decades where food was just fuel.
That
What?
does not qualify.
No. I've had somewhere in the back of my mind, an entire line of army cooks went, "Oh, child, what the hell were you thinking?"
They were 3 hours out of Dallas when the sliders kicked in.
Whoa.
We were 3 hours outside of Dallas, and Sliders decided they wanted out.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, no.
No. The sliders didn't decide they wanted out. Your body decided they wanted the sliders out.
German Heritage that part takes to get decent bratwurst. Hell yes.
Yeah.
Munster. Go to
Yes.
Munster or Ventorst.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
yeah,
the what
Oh,
is
the
it?
chef-
Fisher's Fisher's Meat Market.
in Munster.
They carry them at the little grocery
Yes,
right
they
across
do.
the street.
Yep.
What's
So
the
we can
place
actually
off
get them there.
281 going south toward
Windhurst.
Austin?
Windhurst. Oh,
check.
281.
West.
West Texas.
Yeah, West.
Yes.
That's Czech. It's not German, Czech.
Yeah.
And they will correct you because their grandparents got here when that was still a thing.
Yeah.
But holy gods.
And they make some good food.
Mhm.
Fredericksburg and Kerrville have excellent German
They do.
food. That is correct. However, it's getting so friggin' popular.
Yeah, the
It's-
traffic in
yeah.
Yeah.
Fredericksburg was. I won't go there
Some
again.
friends who have been longtime residents of Fredericksburg are actually moving
Oh,
to
man.
get away from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine.
They're selling their place and said we're done with it.
I love that area.
Yeah.
But I said a couple weeks back that Law Dog's quote of the day: a whole bunch of people need to figure out that every field in Texas doesn't need to be a subdivision.
Yeah.
And my trip down to San Antonio was what. Not every field in Texas needs to be a subdivision. It is wall to wall, fuck all down there.
What about when we were driving down to Decatur?
Oh God.
Yep.
Yeah, and those people do not know how to measure a lot size.
Yet. We're on 380. We're on 380. 2 country boys.
Between Decatur and Denton.
Denton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 country boys. We look over and there's this subdivision going in. I realize that doesn't narrow it down much, but it said 1 and 2 acre lots. And Jim said, "What?" Turned in. And we're sitting there looking at this advertised 2 acre lot going,
No way in hell.
Measuring vertical to include the airspace does not make it an acre.
I don't want to sound tacky, but did they have the ladies measuring this?
Yeah.
Because that ain't 2 acres.
It wasn't even close. It was barely 1 acre.
It was most definitely measured by a man then.
But it was advertised as 2 acres.
2 acres. I will
Like I
guarantee.
said.
Well, not only
0.75.
not
Maybe
only
0.75.
are these lots like an acre, maybe the houses they put on them are
What,
huge.
Steve?
And the houses are just like cheek by jowl, like
Yeah.
to the point where there's no walls on the wall. There's no windows on the walls that
Yeah.
face towards, because there's like barely enough room for you to walk
If
and
there-
not brush your
if there was
shoulders
a
between
win-
the two houses.
If there was a window when I was changing my jacket, I'd poke my neighbor in the eye.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
and these are not as bad as California.
no, I know.
Going up to see my oldest daughter when I left the airport in Sacramento,
Mm-hmm.
I drove up one of the side roads, one by same thing, subdivision. 7,000 square foot lots with 6,000 square foot houses on it.
Yep.
No.
Literally, you could not walk, and I'm not that broad shouldered. I
Mhm.
could not walk between the two houses.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's.
And you're
supposed
right,
to be-
no windows.
No, there's no windows on those
Yeah.
houses because you'd be looking right into your
I think
neighbor's
I'd
room.
You put on a jacket and poke my neighbor in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just like, I think there should be more space there just for fire,
Yeah.
if nothing else. Because if your house burns, then your neighbor's house is going to be damaged too. And it's California. There's a lot of burning going on.
Yeah, especially of
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about right now, but yes, that too.
Yeah, Bob, I will agree with you. I stopped at that Whataburger in Texarkana, and it was not that good. No.
Mm.
Whataburger. Whataburger's not a bad fast food burger. It's not. It's not a great one, but
Their milkshakes are so sweet. I'm
Yeah.
like, how did they
it's
manage
much
that?
like McDonald's. Whataburger is consistent.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot better before they sold out in Chicago because they had a pretty much unlimited options.
Yeah.
But it's
Now we're talking about barbecue, the Airstream trailers.
oh Lord.
There was a place, and Todd, you're probably the only one other than me that remembers this. Hey, Brennan, welcome.
Hey, Brennan.
But outside of Sulphur Springs, at the Y of Two Country Roads, and I mean, I'm talking out in the middle of nowhere. Sat an Airstream trailer
Mm-hmm.
with a picnic table and one oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
And cooking out back was brisket.
Yep.
And it only served Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it started at lunch and went till they ran out that day.
Yeah.
So lunch plus half an hour.
Pretty much.
Ish.
Yeah. And you could get Wonder Bread. You could get Lay's potato chips, only the regular ones. And you could get either an old Milwaukee or a Dr. Pepper. And you got brisket. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through, that I'm aware of, at least 2 generations cooking in that little old place.
So something a lot of people don't realize is that restaurants that give you a menu of options are fairly recent
Oh, yeah.
innovation.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be that you showed up and you got served whatever it was that they'd made that day. And you might have 2 or 3 options, maybe. But you would get what they had made. The whole thing of going in and having pages of options is very new.
Well, Blue Plate Special was just that.
Yep.
There's a Mexican place. I think it's called Joe T. Garcia down in Metro Nest, Fort Worth, I think. I think it's called Joe T. Garcia, but don't quote me on that. And you get a choice of 2 things. There's 2 Mexican. I think it's enchilada and a taco. And it's sit-down seating. It's water or tea to drink. And then you get your chips and your salsa. And then you get to one of those 2. Pick one.
Yeah.
And that's some of the best Mexican food I've ever had.
But this little barbecue place, literally sat at the Y and Two Country Roads out in the oil field.
Mm-hmm.
And according to my daddy, because he took me there when I was like 5 years old, that was an oil field worker
Mhm.
who got tired of the bullshit.
Yep.
And decided he didn't want to work on the oil rigs, but he could get brisket and cook it.
Yep.
So
I mean, we've talking about researching and writing Western stories. We've talked about the fact that during the gold rushes, people that started restaurants and such made a whole lot more money than most of the prospectors and miners did, because everybody's got to eat.
But this, I was there the last time in 2008, I think, 2008, 2009, around there, because I'd driven out, and just for grins, I was going to go by and see if they were still there.
Yeah.
And the county cop parked me a half a mile down the road. They were still there and still open
Still busy.
and still busy. And it was the grandson was now cooking.
Yeah.
And I guess 2010 or 11, I went by and they were gone.
Oh.
Our favorite little barbecue place, actually, as far as I'm concerned, the best barbecue place in Wichita County.
Yeah.
It's Rafter J here in Owl Park. And it was a fireman. And when he wasn't, he got a trailer and a picnic bench, and just to see what.
Yeah.
And he had
The first time we ate there, that's what it was. It was the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
He had put a trailer on an empty lot.
Yep.
And with a pull behind smoker, and just he made his firehouse.
Yeah.
And kept selling out.
Yep.
To the point that he made enough money off that trailer.
Yeah.
He didn't buy a building. He built a building. Bought a lot and built a building.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And last time I talked to him, he paid off the because it's really good food.
Yeah.
Really good.
And he still sells out of stuff because we'll go in there sometimes and they're like, "Oh, we're done. We got a brisket."
And the great thing about it is Jonna is allergic to tree nuts.
Yeah.
So anything with pecan wood is kind of iffy. And I think she'd been here for a while and would go there and get nothing smoked. And one day we happened to mention to the other guy named Jim runs it. He said, we don't use pecan. All we use is oak.
Yeah.
And you should have seen the light up here in Jonna's eyes. Heavens opened up, sun shone down.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm smoking, I actually have, because I have a pecan that drops stuff in the backyard all the time because pecans do that. But I keep that separated from, I have a source of other woods that I use if I know I'm going to be smoking food that I'll be serving to Jonna.
Yeah.
So I keep a special supply that's Jonna safe. But if she's off like at Dickens or stuff, when you guys get smoked food, it's pecan.
Yeah, Todd, you're right. They did. We went there one time after Fool's Con.
Yeah.
And they did run out of food on us.
Yep.
And they don't make a small amount either.
Yeah. Well, folks, we've wasted over an hour of your time.
Oh, holy crap, we have.
I would just like to say thank you for all the prayers and good wishes and people asking how I was doing. Yes, I'm alive.
And grouchy.
I'm grouchy.
He's looking so much better. I
He's
don't know
walking
that
without a
it
cane,
comes
so we'll
across
take it.
on the TV, but he's looking much better.
I itch. I want to scratch.
Would you rather itch
This
or
will pass.
Yeah, I know it'll pass, but damn it.
Yeah.
Brendan, that your sprog in the Hawaiian shirt is absolutely friggin' adorable, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I sent the picture of young Jerry cosplaying Glodog to Ian so he could see it too.
That's adorable.
So anyway, folks, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet sweaty stuff.
Scratch your back.
Scratch if you can. And we'll see you on Thursday.
See you Thursday.
If somebody remembers, we may have actually something to drink.
I may
I
actually
will
be able.
write it down.
I may be actually get my squirrels in a row.
See you, folks. Oh.